Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Rick's English channel for today's deep dive. Let me paint a picture for you and tell me if this sounds familiar.
Oh, I bet it will.
Right. So, you are watching a movie in English, or maybe you are listening to a podcast, and you understand every single word. You are following the story perfectly. But then somebody turns to you and asks you a simple question in English.
And panic sets in.
Exactly. Suddenly, your mind goes completely blank. Your brain is just screaming like, I know this vocabulary. But your mouth, well, it absolutely refuses to cooperate.
Yeah, it's an incredibly common and honestly deeply frustrating experience. You feel like the knowledge is just trapped inside your head and you just can't get it out.
It's the worst feeling.
It really is. So if you are listening to this right now and nodding your head, I promise you, you are definitely not alone in this struggle.
And that is exactly our learning purpose for today. By the end of this deep dive, you are going to understand the actual reasons why you get stuck when speaking.
We're going to break it all down.
We are. We are going to look at what is actually happening in your brain. And more importantly, we're going to walk through 5 simple, practical exercises.
To finally move the English language out of your ears and into your mouth.
Yes. But we should clarify right up front, this isn't going to be just a passive listening session.
No, not at all. We really want to treat this like a shared experiment. As we talk through these concepts today, we want you, the listener, to actively participate.
That means opening your mouth and speaking.
Right. So whether you are walking your dog or cooking or, driving to work, we're going to ask you to try a few things out loud with us.
I love that. Let's get right into the core problem then. Why is there such a massive gap between what we understand and what we can actually say?
Well, it really comes down to something called cognitive load. I mean, we have to stop thinking of knowing English as just one single skill.
Because it's not.
Exactly. Listening and speaking are completely different processes in your brain. When you are listening, you are doing something passive. You are simply recognizing words that already exist.
Like, the other person did the hard work.
Right. The person speaking to you has already chosen the vocabulary. They built the grammar. They created the sentence structure. Your brain just has to decode it.
Okay, I see. So listening is basically just pattern recognition. The puzzle is already put together, and I just have to look at the picture.
Precisely. But speaking, that is a whole different story. Speaking requires production. You are building the house from scratch.
And you have to do it fast.
Very fast.
Yeah.
In a split second, your brain has to search its entire database for the right vocabulary, apply the grammar rules, put the words in order, and then send physical signals to your mouth and tongue to pronounce it all.
Wow. Thinking about this earlier, the best analogy I could come up with is riding a bicycle.
Oh, that's a great one. Walk us through it.
So understanding English is like standing on the sidewalk just watching someone else ride a bike. You see how their feet push the pedals. You see how they hold the handlebars to steer.
Right, you understand the mechanics of it perfectly.
Exactly. You mentally understand how a bicycle works. But understanding it visually doesn't mean you can just jump on the bike and ride it yourself.
No, it absolutely does not.
Right, because
Yeah.
if you actually get on the bicycle without ever practicing, you are going to fall over immediately. You can't just watch. You have to physically practice balancing and moving your own body.
You have to build up that muscle memory.
Yes, the muscle memory.
That is a brilliant way to frame it. And honestly, I think that should be a huge relief for a lot of learners out there.
How so?
Well, if you stumble over your words or freeze up, it doesn't mean you are untalented. It doesn't mean you lack intelligence.
It's just a lack of practice.
Exactly.
Right.
It literally just means your listening muscles have had thousands of hours of practice and your speaking muscles haven't. Speaking isn't some magical gift you were born with. It's just a mechanical skill.
Okay, so if it's just a mechanical skill, a muscle we can train, why does that muscle fail us when we need it most? Like, in the middle of a conversation at a coffee shop.
That is the big question.
Mm-hmm.
And it's because recognizing a word when someone else says it is very, very different from retrieving that word from your own memory.
Retrieving it, meaning finding it in your brain.
Right. Think about what we call the umbrella effect.
Oh, the umbrella effect. I have definitely experienced this. This is where the psychology gets really interesting.
It really does. So imagine you are walking outside with a friend and it suddenly starts pouring rain. You need an umbrella.
A very simple word.
Yes. You know the word umbrella perfectly well when you read it, but in that sudden moment of stress with the rain falling, your brain misfires.
You just freeze.
Right. You point to your friend's bag and say, hey, I need that, the rain thing.
The rain thing, yes.
Well, the word umbrella is stored in your brain, but it's hiding in a folder you just can't reach fast enough.
The word is locked away. So how do we fix that? How do we force our brains to unlock those folders faster?
We train our retrieval speed, and we do this using an exercise called the 3-second answer.
The 3-second answer. Okay, what is that?
The rule is very straightforward. Whenever you are practicing and someone asks you a question, you force yourself to start your answer within 3 seconds.
Wait, just 3 seconds. Let me push back on that a little bit.
What?
If I force myself to answer a question in a foreign language in just 3 seconds, I am probably going to panic and just spout complete nonsense. How does that help me learn?
That is a very fair concern. But actually, sounding a little foolish at first is the entire point.
Really?
Yes.
Mm?
Because when we have too much time to think, we overanalyze. We try to build this beautiful, complex, grammatically perfect paragraph in our heads.
And that takes too long.
Way too long. The 3-second answer is designed to break your perfectionism. We are prioritizing speed over accuracy here.
Oh, I get it. So you are just training the brain to pull any relevant English word out instantly.
Exactly, just to get the gears moving.
Okay, let's demonstrate this for the listener. Ask me a question, and I will force an answer before 3 seconds are up.
All right, let's do it. What did you eat for breakfast today? 1, 2.
I ate toast and eggs.
Perfect. Now, was that a beautiful, complex sentence?
No, definitely not.
But did it successfully answer the question without a long, awkward silence?
Yes, it did. I just said the first thing that came to my mind.
Right, you didn't give yourself time to overthink. Now, let's bring the listener in.
Yes, it's your turn to participate.
If you are listening right now, try this shared experiment with us. I'm going to ask a question, and I want you to say your answer out loud before I count to 3.
Even a one-word answer is fine. Just make a sound.
Here we go. What is the weather like today?
1,
2, 3.
Okay. Did you say something out loud? Hopefully you blurted out something like sunny or it's cold.
The point isn't to give a long speech. You are just training your brain to retrieve words on demand.
That is a great exercise. But this brings us to a huge roadblock that a lot of learners face.
Which is?
What if a learner can't find the word in 3 seconds because their brain is busy doing something else? Specifically, what if they are trapped in a translation loop?
Oh, the translation trap. Yes. That is a massive problem.
I know this feeling so well. You want to sound smart, so you build this huge, perfect sentence in your native language inside your head, and then you try to translate it word by single word into English.
It is a very natural instinct, but cognitively, it is a disaster.
A disaster, why?
Because when you translate word by word, you are overloading your brain's working memory. It's like trying to run Mac software on a Windows computer.
Oh, that's a good way to put it.
Languages just don't map onto each other perfectly. The sentence structures are different. The verb placements are completely different.
It's exhausting. And honestly, by the time you finally finish translating that beautiful sentence in your head, the conversation has already moved on.
Yes.
The other person is talking about a completely different topic, and you just missed your chance to speak.
That happens all the time.
Mm.
Plus, word-for-word translation almost always sounds unnatural to a native speaker anyway.
So we need a way to bypass this slow translation process in our heads.
Exactly. We need a mechanism to skip the native language entirely.
So how do we do that? How do I stop that voice in my head from translating?
We use English building blocks.
English building blocks, okay.
Instead of building sentences word by word, you learn pre-prepared chunks of words.
Chunks of words, like phrases.
Yes, phrases that native speakers use constantly as single units.
Give me a few examples so we can picture this.
Sure. Think of phrases like, I think that, or in my experience, or it depends on.
Oh, I see. So it's like pre-assembled furniture.
Yes, exactly.
If I start with, in my experience, I don't have to think about the grammar of those first 3 words at all. I just drop the whole block into the conversation.
And it gives your brain an extra second or two to figure out the end of the sentence.
That is so smart. It takes a massive amount of pressure off your working memory.
Let's try it out. I'll ask you a question, and I want you to instantly start your answer with the building block. I think that. Ready.
Ready.
Is learning English difficult?
I think that. Learning English is tough at the beginning, but it gets much easier with practice.
Notice the rhythm there. You snap the building block into place immediately.
Yeah, I didn't even have to think about how to start.
It sounded completely natural, and it gave you a running start.
It really does take the pressure off. Let's invite the listener to try this one.
Yes, please do this with us.
Wherever you are listening, try to start your next sentence with the building block. In my opinion.
Yeah.
Just repeat this thought out loud with us right now to feel how it rolls off the tongue. Ready?
Say it with us.
In my opinion, speaking is harder than reading.
Excellent. Relying on those chunks stops the translation loop. It gives your speech a much more natural flow.
Oh, but let's dig a little deeper here, because I know people who have memorized hundreds of phrases and building blocks.
Okay.
They know the vocabulary, but when they stand in front of a native speaker, they still completely freeze. Their brain just shuts down. What is happening there?
Well, we are entering the territory of psychology here.
Psychology, not linguistics.
Well, both. In language learning, there's a concept known as the affective filter.
The affective filter, what is that?
It is essentially an invisible wall that goes up in your brain when you experience anxiety, fear, or stress.
An invisible wall. So my brain is literally locking the door to my vocabulary.
Yes, literally. When you are terrified of making a mistake, your brain shifts from a state of communication into a state of self-preservation.
Wow.
You are thinking, what if I use the wrong tense? What if my accent sounds funny? What if they laugh at me?
That internal voice is so loud.
And when your working memory is filled with all that anxiety, there is physically no room left for language retrieval. The affective filter blocks the words from getting out.
That completely explains why someone can speak beautiful English alone in their bedroom, but the second they are at a party with native speakers, they can barely say hello.
Exactly. They aren't lacking vocabulary, they are just blocked by the affective filter.
So how do we lower that wall? How do we turn off the fear?
By adopting a strict personal rule for yourself. We call it communication first.
Communication first. Okay, but what does that look like in practice? I mean, won't people judge me if my grammar is terrible?
Well, let me ask you this. Suppose someone walks up to you on the street and says, yesterday I go to the supermarket.
Okay.
Now, grammatically, that is incorrect. It should be, yesterday I went.
Yeah.
But as the listener, did you understand the message? Did you know where they were yesterday?
Yeah, of course. I knew exactly what they meant. 100%.
And did you judge them, or did you just continue the conversation?
Honestly, I probably wouldn't even really notice the error. I'd just say, oh, what did you buy?
Exactly the point. The grammar was flawed, but the communication was a total success.
That makes a lot of sense.
Perfect grammar is a luxury. It comes much later in the learning process. The core purpose of language is just to transfer an idea from my brain to your brain. If the idea arrives, you won.
I love that perspective so much. If the idea arrives, you won. We have to strip away this heavy burden of perfectionism.
We really do.
Listener, we want you to practice lowering your affective filter right now.
Yes. Let's do a little mindset practice.
We're going to say a very simple phrase. I want you to say it out loud with us, and I want you to actually believe it. Ready?
Here we go.
It's okay to make mistakes. I am still learning.
Let's do it one more time. Say it with real conviction. It's okay to make mistakes. I am still learning.
It feels good to say that out loud.
It does. And if you can truly internalize that, your anxiety drops, the filter lowers, and the vocabulary will naturally start to flow.
Okay, so let's say we have conquered the fear. The wall is down. We are ready to communicate.
Great.
But how do we physically train the mouth to speak smoothly? Because, I see learners who study for hours every day. They read massive books. They watch endless grammar tutorials.
But they do it all in complete silence.
Yes, all silently.
And that is the trap of passive learning. Going back to your bicycle analogy, you cannot learn a physical motor skill by reading a book about it silently in your bedroom.
Right. You can't just read about riding a bike.
Speaking English requires complex physical coordination. You have to train the muscles in your jaw, your lips, your tongue, and you have to control your breathing in a completely new rhythm.
So reading silently does absolutely nothing for your speaking ability.
Very little. If you want to speak, you have to actually vibrate your vocal cords.
So how do we practice that if we don't have a native speaker to talk to?
To practice this alone, we recommend the listen, pause, and answer method.
How does that work? Is it just like repeating phrases like a parrot?
No. Parrot repetition is mindless. This method requires active cognitive engagement.
Okay, walk us through it.
You listen to a question. You pause to process it. And then you answer aloud using your own real-world information. You aren't copying, you are responding.
Got it. Let's demonstrate.
I will ask you a simple question. Listen, take a beat, and answer.
Okay.
Why are you learning English?
Because I want to understand my favorite podcasts without subtitles.
Good. Now it's the listener's turn.
Yes. You at home, get ready.
If you are listening, I'm going to ask you the same question. Don't just think the answer in your head. Actually move your mouth and speak it into the room.
But out loud.
Why are you learning English?
Awesome. Did you feel the difference there?
Saying it aloud uses a completely different part of the brain than just thinking it.
It really does. And hey, if you struggle to put a long answer together just now, we have a really powerful strategy to help with that.
Yes. Start small. We call it the small sentences method.
Right, because a common mistake is trying to construct this massive, sophisticated paragraph before you even open your mouth.
Which is overwhelming.
It is. Instead, you need to build your idea step by step. Start with the absolute minimum. Let me give you an example of how this builds.
Please do.
Start with a tiny, complete thought. I went to a restaurant. Boom, you communicated an action.
Simple and clear.
Now, add one detail. I went to a restaurant with my friend.
Great.
Now, add a time. I went to a restaurant with my friend last Friday.
Keep going.
Then, add the food. I went to a restaurant with my friend last Friday, and we ate pizza.
Look at how organic that feels. It is so much easier for your working memory to handle that sentence one small building block at a time.
Right. You don't get lost in the middle of it.
Exactly. It prevents you from getting tangled up in complex grammar mid-sentence.
Okay, let's zoom out for a second. We have covered a lot. We've talked about the 3-second rule, building blocks, dropping perfectionism, and speaking physically using small sentences.
It's a lot of good stuff.
It is, but I want to be realistic here. The people listening to this are busy. They have jobs, they have families, they have lives.
Of course.
How does a busy person actually implement all of these exercises without feeling totally overwhelmed?
That is a great point. The golden rule of language acquisition is that consistency always beats volume.
Consistency beats volume, meaning doing it often is better than doing a lot of it at once.
Precisely. Practicing for 5 minutes every single day will give you vastly superior results compared to practicing for an hour once a week.
Wow, really? Just 5 minutes?
Yes, you don't need a massive block of free time. You just need a 5-minute daily habit.
Okay, break that down for me. What exactly am I doing in those 5 minutes?
It's a very specific, high-intensity routine. Minute 1. Look around the room you are in right now and just describe what you see out loud.
Like, I see a wooden desk. I see a blue coffee cup. The window is open.
Exactly. Just get the physical muscles moving. Then, minute 2. Speak out loud about what you did yesterday.
Ah, practicing the past tense.
Right. Minute 3. Talk about what you are going to do tomorrow.
Future tense. Got it. What's next?
Minute 4. Give your opinion out loud on a simple topic, like, why do you love a certain movie? Or, what is your favorite food and why?
Using those building blocks, like, in my opinion.
Exactly. And then minute 5 is the most crucial part. You record yourself speaking for 1 minute, listen back to it, and then try to say one of those sentences more clearly.
Oh, recording yourself. I have to admit, I hate hearing my own voice on a recording.
We all do.
It always sounds so awkward and weird to me. Is the recording part really necessary?
I know it's uncomfortable, but yes.
Yeah.
Everyone hates hearing their own voice. It's a universal human experience. But neurologically, it is incredibly powerful.
Why is that?
Because when you listen to a recording of yourself, you step outside your own head. You become the listener. You will hear pauses you didn't know you made.
Oh, I see.
You will catch pronunciation errors that you didn't even notice while you were speaking. This creates a feedback loop in your brain. Your brain autocorrects the next time you speak.
That makes a lot of sense. You kind of become your own language teacher.
Exactly.
And I guess if you save those recordings on your phone, you have a literal audio diary of your progress. Imagine listening to your day 1 recording 6 months later.
It would be amazing.
You would hear exactly how much faster and smoother you've become.
And that provides massive motivation, which is the fuel for keeping up that consistency.
All right, before we wrap up today, we're going to put you, the listener, in the hot seat one last time.
Get ready.
We are going to do a rapid-fire challenge. I will ask you 5 questions in a row. I want you to apply everything we just talked about.
Lower the filter, use the 3-second rule, don't worry about perfect grammar, and just speak out loud.
Take a deep breath. Here we go.
Answer these out loud.
What is your name?
Good.
Where are you from?
Keep it quiet.
What is one thing you do every day?
Excellent.
What do you like to do to relax?
Nice. Last one.
And why do you want to improve your English?
Fantastic. Listen, if you made noise and spoke out loud into the room just now, that is a huge victory. You just exercised those speaking muscles.
What a phenomenal deep dive today. Let's do a really quick recap of the core insights so they stick with you.
Let's do it.
First, listening and speaking are different skills. You have to physically practice speaking, just like riding a bike. Second, use the 3-second rule to force your brain to retrieve words faster and stop overthinking.
Third, rely on English building blocks instead of translating from your native language, which overloads your brain. Fourth, lower your affective filter by putting communication first.
Right. Your message is infinitely more important than perfect grammar.
Fifth, practice physically using the listen, pause, and answer method. Build your sentences step by step. And finally, commit to that high-intensity, 5-minute daily habit.
As you implement these tools, we want to challenge you to change your internal narrative.
Yes. We are so hard on ourselves as learners. I hear people say, my English is terrible all the time. I want you to banish that phrase from your vocabulary.
Never say it again.
Instead, I want you to tell yourself, I understand English, and right now I am actively training myself to speak it.
That is a beautiful mindset shift. You aren't feeling, you are training. All right, we have a call to action for you today.
We want to hear from you.
We want you to scroll down and drop a comment below this video on Wix English channel. Tell us, what is your biggest roadblock when it comes to speaking?
Do you get trapped translating in your head? Does fear make your mind go blank?
Write your answer in English. Even one short sentence is perfect practice.
And if you want to make a public commitment to your learning journey today, type the phrase, I am ready to speak English, in the comments right now.
Let us know you are committed. And of course, make sure you like and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss our next deep dive. But before we go, I want to leave you with one final provocative thought to mull over today.
This is a really important one. Think about how you speak your native language, your mother tongue, every single day.
Right. When you are hanging out with your friends, do you ever use slang? Do you ever mumble?
Do you ever skiff words or completely mess up your grammar in the middle of a funny story?
Of course you do. You probably make mistakes in your native language constantly. And you never feel embarrassed or ashamed?
You just keep talking because you know they understand your message.
So the question is, why are you holding your English to a stricter, more punishing standard of perfection than your own native language?
Exactly. Give yourself permission to be beautifully imperfect.
Keep listening, keep training those speaking muscles, and most importantly, keep speaking. We'll catch you next time on The Deep Dive.